Brazil is the largest country on the South American continent and the 5th largest country in the entire world. It's the only country in South America where the official language is Portuguese, not Spanish. That's because Brazil was settled by Portuguese explorers. Today, there's a diverse culture, a mix of descendants of native peoples, Portuguese pioneers, former African slaves, and Europeans. Brazil is probably most famous for being home to the Amazon jungle, the world's largest tropical rainforest. It stretches from one end of the country to the other, following the Amazon River basin. Two of its biggest industries are lumber and cattle. The capital of the country is Brasilia in the interior, but it used to be Rio de Janeiro, home to some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, including Ipanema and Copacabana Beach. The citizens of Rio are called cariocas. Perhaps the best views of Rio can be seen from Sugarloaf, where a gigantic statue of Christ on Corcovado Mountain dominates the horizon. But Rio is best known for Carnival! Carnival is often called the world's largest party. Every year in February or early March, people celebrate and dance in the street for days. Their colorful costumes, traditional music, and dancing attracts visitors from all over the world. In Rio, where music and dancing are taken very seriously, people practice their dance routine all year long. One of the favorite musical styles of Rio is the samba.
We know about that. We went to samba school on our trip. Whoa.
Really? Let's take a look.
At Mangueira, Palácio do Samba, we saw people of all ages come to practice the dance routines they'll use during Carnival. The school was started 75 years ago. The bright pink and green costumes and the samba music made watching the dancers really exciting. We met some really young kids who were samba champions and a 78-year-old woman who is known as the Queen of Samba. A lot of these people are very poor, and Samba School and Carnival are two of the most important events in their lives. Many are able to turn the samba competition at Carnival into lifelong careers as musicians, designers, and dancers. I even tried to learn to samba myself. After practicing all year, our friends from Mangueira Palácio do Samba danced in this year's Carnival. Samba schools have been featured dancers at the Carnival Parade for 70 years.
That's right, Dylan. The Samba Parade started out as a competition between rival Samba schools. The dancers paraded down the streets at all hours of the day and night. "20 years ago, the competition moved to the Sambadrome, a stadium that holds 65,000 people. Dancers pass by the judges on a reviewing stage that's 1,500 feet long. Today, the Samba Parade has grown to 14 Samba schools with almost 100 floats and 72,000 Samba dancers. The Samba school you visited, the Mangueira Palácio de Samba, has won 17 championships, including last year's first place title.
fun.
We had fun all week.
What kind of fun?
Well, let's put it this way. Have you ever wanted to stretch your wings and fly?
Sure, who hasn't?
Check it out.
Here I am getting ready to hang glide off Pedra da Gávea in São Conrado. I was being strapped into a harness almost like a butterfly cocoon. Then, before I knew it, it was time to sprout wings and hook up to my flight instructor for a tandem flight. He's really experienced, and it's not as dangerous as it looks. But I guess I was a little scared. After all, we were jumping off a mountain 3,000 feet high. Then, before I could say butterfly, we were airborne. What a feeling. The whole thing only lasted for 5 minutes, but what a great 5 minutes. It's the best view of the buildings, the mountains, and the beach. I was soaring through the air like an eagle, with air blowing through my hair. It was total freedom and total excitement. Finally, we glided into the landing area, and I was glad to be back on solid ground. But now I know what it's like to fly like a bird.
How was that, Dylan?
It was totally awesome. Let's do that again.
Wow, Dylan, you really earned your wings. So, what's next?
We even got to meet my cousins Freddie and Fabio when we went scuba diving. Take it away, Freddie.
I have always wanted to go scuba diving, so after I took a training course, we headed off to Angra dos Reis. Dylan said hang gliding is being able to fly like a bird. I say scuba diving is being able to swim like a fish. It's great to be able to swim underwater without having to hold your breath. Now I know how a fish feels. With scuba tanks, you can stay in the water up to 30 minutes at a time. When we went scuba diving, there were lots to see. Sea urchins, starfish, blowfish, the colors were spectacular. Where we went scuba diving is very safe, but you always have to remember to stay close to the dive master. Being able to breathe under the water is a really neat sensation. Dylan earned his wings, and I earned my fins. Although the ocean of the Brazilian coastline is huge and filled with exciting fish and other creatures, there's another water attraction in Brazil that is breathtaking. The Iguazu Falls are a natural wonder located on the southern border of Brazil. These falls are higher than the Niagara Falls and are more than 8,000 feet wide. The impact of the water on the rocks below produces a roar so loud it can be heard from miles away. There are many other activities you can do in the Brazilian waters, from scuba diving and sightseeing to skimming on the Brazilian waves on a surfboard. I tell you what, being able to breathe underwater sure would have helped us on the day we took surfing lessons. The beaches of Rio de Janeiro are famous for their surf. We decided to take some lessons from the best instructors on the beach. It's not as easy as it looks. Just paddling out is tiring enough. Then you have to build up speed to catch the waves and get up on your board. I lost track of how many times I fell. I think I swallowed half of the Atlantic Ocean. When we finally made it up on our surfboards, it was a rush. Catching a wave is like getting into nature.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, you really gotta try it.
I'm gonna go wax my board and catch some waves.
Yeah.
Sounds cool. But you may want to join us while we go watch some capoeira.
What's that?
One of the most interesting things we saw in Brazil was a sport known as capoeira. It's known as the fighting dance because it combines martial arts and graceful dance moves. Capoeira was created by early slave tribes, brought to Brazil from Africa 400 years ago. Fighting was forbidden by the masters, so the slaves developed judo-like fighting, kicking and knifing moves into a ballet-like dance. Songs and music were blended in to disguise the fact that they were fighting. A beating bow, or berimbau, provides the music. The berimbau is a combination of a stringed instrument and a drum made from a dried gourd. It was imported by African slaves in the 1500s. Now, hundreds of years after it was developed, capoeira is becoming popular all over Brazil and all over the world for both dancers and spectators.
Do you guys love the capoeira?
Hey guys, look what I brought back from Brazil. It's a beating bow.
Cool. Let's see you play.
Okay.
You keep practicing, Dylan, while we all go back to Brazil.